So originally, I wasn't thinking about talking about this particular figure for really a couple of reasons. One, because the information about this figure has been out for a couple days now, and a lot of you know about it, and the pre-orders have been up earlier this week, so I felt like there wasn't much to talk about. And two, I'm just not really interested in this particular product, which I've talked about stuff in the past that I probably wasn't going to buy, in these like toy update type of videos that I do. I would still talk about stuff even if I wasn't particularly thinking about buying it. But this one here, something about what's going on with this particular figure just kind of pisses me off. Just a little bit. Not really. It's not that deep. But it's a little bit annoying what I think is going on with this figure, and I wanted to talk about it. So what you're seeing here is the SH Figuarts Akaza from Demon Slayer. The SH Figuarts Demon Slayer line has been doing pretty well for itself. Tanjiro, for the price that is pretty well done. Nezuko's pretty overpriced. I don't have any of these figures. We also have Tomioka as well as Rengoku, which that one's sold out in some places. I mean, they're all kind of sold out in certain places. But like if you're going to Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I'm getting a lot of my images today, Rengoku in particular is sold out. Akaza just went up for pre-order. So the thing about this particular figure is, one, I do think it looks really fantastic. Comparing it to the Buzzmod or the Figma ones, this one looks really fantastic. They all looked pretty good. I don't own any of those, so I can't be sure. But this one, it looks like it's pretty good on its own. I think that every Akaza figure looks like Akaza. There's not much else for me to go off there. I do think that some of these, expressions that we have and the articulation on this thing, I think is also really nicely done too. And you'll hear me clicking a little bit. I'm just looking through some images really quick. The big thing I want to talk about is the accessories and the price. So this image right here, we have 4 different faceplates, which is a pretty good amount of faceplates, and 5 if you include the one that's on the figure right now. And then we have 2 fists on the figure. Then we have these, if you look on like the bottom right, these 2 types of these posing hands that are a little bit more of an open expression and a flat right hand. That's it. A lot of these places are charging $65 for this particular figure, and Big Bad Toy Store is charging $80. So that's a whole separate rant on its own. But $65, that's supposed to be the USD equivalent of this. I'm sorry, I do not see that. I think it's a little bit of a better price, of course, compared to 80, but 65 for this, we've gotten way more for other figures. And I do want to talk about some comparisons within SH Figuarts. We have the SH Figuarts One Piece Monkey D. Luffy Romance Dawn version, and if you want to group in the Raidon Onigashima version, 3 different pairs of hands, I should say, 3 different expressions, different parts to interchange the hair, so you can have him wearing the straw hat and also without the straw hat, and as well as a piece of meat. And some of you say, well, TF Nut, this is supposed to be a cheaper figure for $35 because it's supposed to entice you into getting the other figures. Okay, SH Figuarts Nami, $65. She comes with 2 left hands, 3 right hands, optional hands for grasping, her hands together, 4 different expressions, a staff, and a treasure chest, as well as an extra face for Luffy, all for that price. I forget the exact pricing right now I didn't pull it up here, of Yusuke, but that figure is like pushing 70, but comes with everything you need for that particular figure. All kinds of different expressions and hands, different hairstyles, as well as different effects piece, a little Pooh minifigure. That thing is totally worth it. Now, again, this is kind of a little bit also a BBTS rant because they're charging way too much for this, but $80 for Akaza on there is ridiculous, considering that the SH Figuarts Band of the Hawk version of Guts is only $10 more and comes with tons of stuff, different hands, different expressions, different weapons, the helmet, the sword, the cape is a fabric piece on this. That's worth $90. $80 for one figure that has all plastic and has like three hands as well as like four faces? I don't think so. I've seen better done in this particular line for less money. And is this just a Demon Slayer tax at this point? Because I understand Demon Slayer is popular, but is it that popular to where you're charging more? Again, let's nix the whole BBTS thing, because they're charging way too much. It's not the first time they've done this, and it won't be the last where they've overcharged. $65 for this is, to me, still not worth it. That's a hard ask. 50 might even be a hard ask. I think that'd be a little bit more reasonable. But like, is Demon Slayer that popular to where we're just charging whatever prices we want at this point? Which I'm trying to be as objective as possible when I talk about Demon Slayer here. I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of Demon Slayer. I don't think it's an awful series, and people will hear me say that and think it's sacrilege. I just think it's overrated, and it's not a bad series. If you like it, that's cool. If you like this figure, I think that's cool too. I'm just explaining, my perspective. It's not just a place of me hating Demon Slayer or anything. $65 for a figure that barely comes with anything, even if it has decent articulation, it's kind of an outrageous ask, especially with how expensive everything's getting more expensive, but especially the toy collecting hobby getting even more expensive almost every figure release, it feels like at this point. 65 won't break the bank for a decent amount of people, but I just feel it's really a cost, and I wouldn't say cost, it's just a value thing. Value is going to be in the eye of the beholder is what I usually say. Someone looking at this will immediately think this is worth the $65. That's totally fine. Me personally, again, SH Figuarts, Tamashii Nations, they have done better for less money in this line. And I just think that this is kind of... I don't know if this is a rights issue with Shonen Jump to where they have to charge a little bit more, or if it's just them not realizing, Tamashii Nations realizing what they're doing here when it comes to pricing. But I don't think it's worth 65. Again, 50 is a hard ask. I wouldn't say 35. 35, of course, would be great, but I could see this being 45. Just simply because there's a lot of sculpt work going on here. I think it looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong, and great articulation too. Some of the articulation kind of exposes joints a little too much, but that's just kind of the nature with a decent amount of action figures. It still looks really good. Like, I'm not going to hate on how it looks. It's just the price is not it. So that's all I got. And there's not much else I want to talk about with this. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. Do you think it's worth the price? Do you think it's a little too expensive? What would you be willing to pay for? Or would you be just waiting for a sale altogether? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Images are down in the description below of my sources that I'm using today. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.